Hi, good afternoon again. Well, we're fortunate today to be joined once more by Adam Ramshaw from Genroe in Sydney. We spoke to Adam recently and he's kind enough to come back and chat a little bit more about really the hands-on experience within the work that he does. So my first question, Adam, welcome.
Thank you, Ray. Appreciate that.
And I would like just to ask about the structural issues around customer loyalty. Where does it sit in the business? How the skills positioned in the business, and how do you work with that when you go to a client?
Yeah, it's a really good question actually, and a lot of organisations struggle with identifying just exactly how to build their organisational structure around customer experience management and customer loyalty management. So how does it fit? Is there a customer loyalty group, or is there not a customer loyalty group, and how do they work? So there is some best practice work out there now about how to do this and what the best way to build your organisation around customer experience is. And in fact, we recently wrote a blog post on exactly this topic, so I'll just pull a couple of comments out of that. The first thing you need to do if you're going to be successful in the customer experience management or loyalty management space is to have senior level commitment. There has to be CEO, CXO level commitment to the process. So they have to be bought in really at a very senior level. If you don't have that, then you really will struggle to make it work because the rest of the parts are going to be difficult to keep moving without that support. The next thing you really need to have is some really simple and well understood customer goals within the organisation. If you can boil these down quite carefully or to quite kind of simple ideas that all of the staff and employees can understand, that will also stand you in very good stead because you need to have that as well. So you need to have very clear customer focuses for the organisation. The next thing that we talk about when we find the best way to do this is we say, and the best practice is that the operational departments need to be responsible for implementation of the customer experience management or customer loyalty management changes. That means at the end of the day, the buck has to stop with the people that understand that part of the process best. So we don't have a customer experience management or customer loyalty management group that spreads out within the organisation and makes all the changes. The operational departments really need to be responsible for doing this. They're the people that understand their processes are the best. They're the people that understand how to make change in their parts of the business the best, and so they're best placed to make changes. What you do need to make sure is that the operational departments have customer experience management or loyalty management KPIs. So there should be a broad set of KPIs around the customer that the operational departments are held to as well. So they need to have some sort of customer focus, whether that be Net Promoter Score, or whatever the organisation has decided internally to use, and we would always recommend Net Promoter Score. There needs to be those sorts of KPIs available or fixed for the operational groups. So then the role of the customer experience management group or department or team or person, however you want to look at it, they become an enabler of the process. So they're not an implementer of the process. What that means is that group has an understanding of how to manage voice of the customer program, so they understand how the process works. They understand and maintain the analytics to understand what customers are thinking and analyse the information. And they also understand the best way to go about helping the operational parts of the business with making change. And the analogy I use is accounting departments. Nobody expects the accounting department to make sales, but they very well expect the accounting department to know how many sales have been made and how to count those sales and how to advise other parts of the organisation the best way to budget and those sorts of areas. And so the customer experience management group is exactly the same as that. They also have to deliver the understanding and help and coach the rest of the organisation. So that's the best way to go about that. Then also the customer experience management group should also have KPIs around customer experience management. So they should have the Net Promoter Score or whatever the organisation has decided. They should have those metrics as well. And those metrics need to be aligned with the operational groups. So then you have all of the groups having the same set of KPIs around the customer. Then you have the people who understand the processes and the detailed parts of the business making a change. And you have the people who understand how the customer information works, actually helping the operational people make those changes. So that's really come out as being now the best practice approach to doing this, to implementing customer experience management or customer loyalty management in an organisation. Don't make one group the customer experience management people have the responsibility for, say, the Net Promoter Score growth. Because if you don't broaden that out amongst the organisation, you just won't make it happen.
Yeah. You and I have had a chat about the clienteer concept, and I think we're actually saying the same thing, because I think that group, if you say who do I recruit to put into that group, then that's what we're speaking about in terms of clienteer. Clienteer is what these guys do, and clienteering is probably the skills that they need. Without that language, I think businesses typically are open to interpretation of language they use already, and I think that's a danger. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I would agree. The question is often, where do these sorts of people report into? Are they part of marketing? Are they part of operations? Where exactly do they report? I've always said that I don't think they're part of the marketing group, because that's a different role in the organisation. They need to be more cross-functional. So their set of skills is quite broad. They need to have analytic skills. They need to have customer understanding skills. They need to be good coaches and people that can help put together workshops and enable other parts of the organisation to do things and use the information that they're collecting. So it's quite a distinct set of skills. Yeah. And I would agree, I don't think it fits in sales, and I don't think it fits in marketing. It probably fits somewhere in operations, as maybe one of the cross-functional groups there. There are even people suggesting it should report directly into a kind of a CEO, COO level in the organisation. Yeah. So it just depends on the organisation, but you're right, it is difficult to understand, or it's not possible to pull that together and say it's part of marketing or sales.
Yeah. That's an interesting comment, because I that's certainly been my view, and I make a distinction between hunters and farmers in business by training and experience and sometimes even personality. So I think we're gradually beginning to recognise that. I'm not sure that the marketing people are going to readily agree, but it sounds as if your training materials and the work that you do could very easily become training materials and workshops for clienteers. So that's a discussion we need to have.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I think one of the big things, and your hunter-farmer analogy is a very, very good one. I think the biggest problem in the hunter-farmer analogy is that there's lots of kudos for being a hunter. When you bring a new customer into the organisation, everybody notices, and it's fabulous and well done and all those sorts of things. When you farm customers, and I would call that customer retention or customer loyalty management, it's often difficult to understand and put a value on the ROI that you generate, because the customer's still there and they're still there and they're still there. So what value have you added, when actually the value you've added is that they're still there? Yeah. So it's like making a new sale every month or every year. It's just that it's been difficult. It is difficult for people to really put a dollar value on those things, and I think that is often the biggest problem in generating the ROI in business cases for customer loyalty management and retention processes and farming processes, is putting the ROI process around it. So there's some skills you need to think about, and some tools you need to think through to make that happen. But it is very possible. You can put money around that just as well as you can put money around acquisition.
Adam, I think we've kind of lost the sync on your video, but the sound was really very good. There you go. You're back.
I think I'm back. I think I'm back.
Yeah, I thought we'd lost you there for a second. That was fantastically interesting, and I think people will appreciate the practical approach that you're taking. I think we read a lot of theoretical stuff in this space, but I think what people need is, how do I do it in my business, and where does it sit, and who's accountable for what? Thank you very much. So thanks, Adam, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You're very welcome, Ray. Thanks very much. Look forward to speaking to you soon.
Okay, thank you.